context of reminding you Grand Bahamians how long this matter has been before you. U.S. Steel was here long before I came around, meaning I wasn't even born yet. When Wallace Groves and the billionaire who's now dead started Freeport, you know, in the 40s and the 50s, and this dream was created, a cement plant used to operate here. Bahama Rock bought their property, and that's the only context in which I mentioned Area 4. I would hate this meeting to get into me issuing approvals from here about what Bahama Rock should do or not do based on an application we haven't received yet.
Have you ever been in the back of Seaway?
Sorry?
Have you ever been in the back of Seaway? I look at the damage that's how much man has did.
Many, many years ago, I lived in Seagrave. I came down to Grand Bahama to work for a summer, and I lived in Seagrave approximately 4 weeks. I haven't been to Seagrave since.
So, you've seen the damage?
Only from the air.
Only from the air. Okay. You can't build a house over there. You can't do nothing, just baseline.
But we don't want to go there. We are here
What I'm saying is that
to address going forward.
I've done the damage. They're gone. Bahama Rock is going to do damage. They're going to go. They're destroying fishing. They're destroying houses. And they're going to destroy our water table.
I don't know that that's a fair statement and a judgment for you to make. Bahama Rock has not been given any authorization to go to Area 4.
But the blasting, I'm not talking about just going across Area 4. The blasting that they do every day is damaging the water table. It's cracking the water table. And then someone being out of blocking water.
So you got the question?
Well, Minister, in regards to the water table, I think we have one record, I know I do, where Bahama Rock actually emphatically stated that the water table was of no use, and their continued digging and trenching was of really the water table was ultimately what it came back to me amounted to was of no concern to them. It had no, the Grand Bahama Water Company utility had no interest in it, and as such it amounted to when you want water, simply buy it. Their projector showed multiple water tables that had been damaged and destroyed, and future water tables that had the potential of being destroyed, and they are continuing. Also in that presentation, in spite of all of the people in this room stating there was caves and other different things, Bahama Rock once again stated with great authority that due to their hundreds of drillings, they have never discovered any cave, and as such implied that no such thing as caves exist. And that's on record. Okay? See, what happens is Bahama Rock is showing total disrespect. When questioned concerning coming across the harbor, we ask simply, what purpose would this hole in the ground, this 40-foot hole in the ground serve? And with a smirk, Mr. Reed replied, you could use it as what is it? The study with the tourism, ecotourism. He was very serious. He says, when we leave, I can show it to you on tape. He says you can use it as ecotourism. I mean, then we go and sitting there with along with his group of experts that was totally unable to refute any of the questions and things that was put to them. Now, in light of that perspective, I am asking, is it possible for interested individuals to have access to this EIA so that we can individually study it and come about with questions, or upon our own expense submit it to others who can give us professional opinion that is contrary to what may come forth from these so-called studies?
Absolutely, and without reservation. The EIA reports will be posted on the BEST website. We will. We don't generally make copies of the documents, but if they're digitized, we certainly would be more than happy to give you the tape. And the assessment is also posted. And the way they post it is you are free to comment on them, and BEST has an officer that is duty bound to go and evaluate the comments. I'm not at liberty to just post it on the website and say that it's on the website. The report for Bimini, I have to issue a public statement outlining what they looked for, what they found, and what we intend to do. And I'm held accountable for that. The same thing has to happen with Bahama Rock and their EIA. Let me repeat something I said earlier. The mining of the harbor to accommodate the Freeport container port is an approved thing. We have to monitor that more carefully. The Area 3 that you see on the map is close to 50% mined already. They are extending the linear berth and they are creating the turn-in basin. The more appropriate map of that is what is in Mr. Gray's presentation to the Maritime Conference, and I think that is posted already. Area 4, coming across the highway, that affects the water table, that affects the mangroves, that affects the wetlands, that addresses those other issues you raised, is the subject of the EIA. Nothing will happen with that until such time as the evaluation is complete and we're back here to address what it says.
Additional question. Concerning the modification, considering that at a particular time when these mining permits were given to Bahama Rock or the parties that they were given to, considering that there was no such thing as a mega ship and these other different things, is it possible that we can be notified as to when these modifications for the difference in depth that was allowed, permits that was allowed, that now it's maybe 30 foot or 30 meters and 40 meters as compared to maybe 18 or 16 in the past, when those modifications permission was given, by whom it was given, as well as what environmental impact studies that was done at that particular time before those modifications were given, so that we can also look at the changes from the original agreement to actually what they're doing right now?
Some of that, yes. Some I don't know.
And subsequently, is it possible then that you can create a point person within your ministries that, because this is a pressing concern for us in Grand Bahama, not just with Bahama Rock, but with the other mining companies that may be having effect, just like you said, the Island Mining Company and others that may be doing subsequent mining or environmental impact, that we in Grand Bahama, because we are one of the larger communities within the Bahamas, and it's important to us to preserve what little we may have for future generations and for future prosperity of the island that we know as Grand Bahama. Whereas we can have a particular person, instead of sending it to your ministry willy-nilly, that we can submit questions and queries to and expect a response in regards to that. Can someone be appointed in that respect, a point person in that?
That person is Philip Weech. And if you send a query to Philip Weech at the BEST website, there's an officer who monitors the website who would respond.
Minister, do you know the BEST website's address?
bestcommission.com. Sir. Well, he hasn't had a chance yet.
Go ahead.
My name is Eugene Duncanson, and
Could you speak up?
I have a Eugene Duncanson. I have a business here in 8 Mile Rock, a number of businesses, and I have a motel, and I live next to the motel, and I find it is rather frightening when an explosion goes off. It frightens my guests. Don't know what it's all about. Because they're from somewhere else. And they hear this loud blast go off. They don't know what ever else happened. The cause of it, they just run out of the motel and just